Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, and as many of you know, I buy a lot of books, and some people I know have been curious, what books do you read? What do you have? What do you do with all these books? So I thought I'd just give you a quick tour of my bookshelf so you can see what I got going. So here we've got, these are books about the history of food. So you've got, and different types of plants, so tobacco, the potato, sugar, fish, spices, this type of thing. And then here are sort of artifacts of modern Western cultures. You've got the printing press, or the compass, or time. Clocks, the Industrial Revolution, crafting paper, this type of thing. And then over here, on this top shelf, we've got health, sort of recipe books. And then here, there's a lot of books around roads. I may be doing an essay at some point, some extended essay around roads and the consequence they've had on culture. And down here we've got some more on roads, but also on trees, sort of the tree of life, that type of thing. And then we've got poetry, of course, and then some Canadian history, sort of general Canadian history, and some Gaelic books. If we go back here, we've got some books on language and etymology here. Then we've got Indigenous history of Canada, and then books kind of around nature, and Then here we've got this other bookshelf, some books on magic, kind of close-up magic and all this. Then there's my fiction shelf, most of which I haven't read, but I hope to at some point. And then various and sundry books around Celtic, this and that. And then here's my section around conflict resolution, restorative justice. And then this is books around sort of growth of individualism and how we get so crazy. And then this bottom shelf here, these are all my books around sort of history of the world in general, largely the West we're talking about, and Europe. And then over there is a history of this is northern Nordic mythology and such as that. So that's that room. Then we've got this, and up here we've got a section around trauma and death, and a few just randoms. And then there are two shelves here around Indigenous history, philosophy, types of things. And then these are my business books down here. And then there's a big mess underneath that. I got some DVDs. Then up here I've got my Derek Jensen. I've got a bunch of books around whiteness, kind of history of the white race or white people, or that construct of whiteness. And then this is the black history, African history, so James Baldwin, Black Reconstruction in America, Du Bois. And then this is more history of the West, so we're talking about Greece into Rome. And then we've got some more of Rome and the history of Western Europe. And then another mess. And then here, they never end. We've got some graphic novels that are particularly good. Stuff around masculinity, etc. And then down here also feminism, gender, these types of things. And then here we've got the books specifically around Scottish, Irish, kind of Celtic things, and a lot of source material over here. And then on the bottom shelf, mostly folklore. This is my collection of Scottish, Irish folklore. And then if we go into the secret cabinet, there's a bunch of family history. This is specifically direct family. And then Scottish Highland clearances, mostly. And then down here, connected with also more Scottish history. Some books around project I'm involved in. And then some just general folklore storytelling. type thing. And then this is a lot of London, the history of, or England, not London in particular, but sort of history of Britain and yeah, what happened there. And then below there's some stuff around the Holy Grail and more sort of masculinity, etc. And that's really it. That's my collection of books as it stands so far. Of course, there are always more being bought, but I thought you might enjoy just kind of knowing what's on my mind, what I'm reading, the types of things that I think about and I'm exploring these days. I often say you can go into somebody's home and look at their bookshelf and have a sense of who they are as a person, and I think these books actually give a pretty good sense of who I am and what I'm thinking about. So if you have any book recommendations, please let me know. Thanks so much.